Hello everyone, this is Joanna the Medium. Thank you so much for coming back. And for those of you who are new, thank you so much for joining, and I hope you like what you see. This is going to be your June forecast. I hate the word forecast because I don't predict per se. Your June reading, intuitive reading, let's put it that way. An exciting month. I feel there's a lot of changes we're all going through, and I've been seeing that from you as well. Bear in mind, these are general readings, which means they will not connect with everyone. If it did, I don't think that's even possible. They do, interestingly, connect with a lot of you. Pieces may connect with you, some pieces may not. It may not connect with you one day and totally connect with you a day later or a week later. So do listen to this whenever you listen first and then at the end of the month, because they do make much more sense. Also, because these are general, listen to it to the other signs, your moon sign and your rising sign, as well as sun sign, because they will offer you a lot more information oftentimes. And of course, these are general, like I mentioned, so it's impossible for me to cover everybody. And if you would like a private session, that information is down below for you. I decided to do Uranus readings, so I will be doing those within the next couple of weeks. I will let you know when they are done, and I will focus on the entire 7 years of what we can expect for each sign, and that's how my guides are asking me to present this. So it'll be a big picture. So stay tuned. I will be announcing when that will be ready. And I think that's all I have. Have yourself a wonderful month of June. For those of you who have birthdays in June, happy birthday. And without further ado, let's move on with individual signs. I'll see you in a bit. Hello, beautiful Sagittarians. This is going to be a reading for the month of June 2018, almost at 17. Let me start off with channeled messages first. I saw the number 14. This is not an energy number, or that's what I normally talk about is energy numbers. I just saw the number 14. So if you have a connection to number 14, I don't think it's 1 and 4. I think it's 14. I would, for most of you, if there is a birth, a death, an anniversary, 14 years of age, 14 years ago, something about the number 14, a shirt you have that says 14, there's something, a jersey with the number 14, there's something with the number 14 that is important here for some of you. I don't know what it means, but that was shown to me right off the bat. So now that that's aside, number 9 was shown as an energy number, which is, to me, I always say, an energy of letting things go, allowing things to be allowing things to be gone. It is about endings, yet not necessarily completions. And difference being is once you're completed, the ties are cut. Emotionally speaking, if we go through endings, emotionally speaking, we're still often connected, and that's going to mean something to you very clearly. I saw that you were walking around with an ankle hanging over your a chain hanging over your ankle, preventing you from either moving further, moving faster, because I saw you moving really slow, or generally moving forward, which would indicate that there's an element here of stuckness. And I hear the words, you're doing this to yourself. I don't know who I'm speaking with, so I apologize if it's coming up in a not very eloquent manner, which is what I traditionally do. But it's not meant to be a judgment. It's meant to be a wake-up call. And the moment I say this, I want to cry. So for some of you, this is going to mean something. And this is not from the point of view of blame. This is from the point of view of indicating that you have a choice here. So whatever this is, whoever you are, I'm speaking with in whatever situation, this is maybe it's 14 is the number that I'm also connecting to. So that's what I saw. I also heard the word resistance. So the comment I made just a moment ago is pretty much the same as the word resistance. Resisting to change is the same as keeping yourself stuck in the same spot. So this is most likely than not for many of you stemming from resistance to change, resistance to see things differently, resistance to let go from things from the past, resistance of letting go of something that fundamentally doesn't serve you any longer, which could be an addiction or something described as an addiction. And particularly if you are in an environment where it sucks the living daylights out of you, and I think I mentioned this somewhere else with a different sign, but you are not doing anything about it, and you are consciously choosing to stay there, then I want to say that that's on you. But there's a resistance here for some of you to move from something. I also saw that for some of you, you want to move on, but you can't. And you can't because some outside force is keeping you there. Now, for some of you, this is going to be emotional and psychological. And for some of you, you'll feel like you are stuck. Like if you're trying to move on and financially you're not able to. I totally get it as an example. So I saw that as well. And for some of you, I saw you being passionless. Now, the energy of passionless to me felt very sad, and it felt like I have forgotten about me. So if you have forgotten about you for a while, if you have quote unquote sold yourself on the market to somebody else or to some organization, or you fundamentally decided that life is, what's this point of this, then you are effectively, according to my guide, passionless. You have no passion for life or for anything. And I feel that emotion right now. I almost want to get emotional, and it is definitely rooted in some past pain, and I hear the word resentment. So this is just being highlighted, but again, well, not again, I didn't say anything yet, but you are in an energy of expansion, so I can see why that would be happening. Then I saw some of you, what you need to do is you need to bare your chest. And I'm not asking you to walk around with no shirts, men or women, obviously. But the image was being shown to me, and he specifically asked me to say this, was a Superman showing his big S on his chest. And as I'm talking right now, I'm asking, what is the meaning of this symbology? And he's saying, be proud of yourself. So this is definitely for some of you, for those of you who are conditioned to feel about yourself in a way that isn't serving you. And certainly if you are stuck in a relationship where you feel like you can't move, or you are attached to somebody to the point of not being able to go without them, but it's terrible for you, then definitely you are not someone who is secure and strong within yourself. So this is about you becoming great, not because you have to become one, but it's time for you to realize you are one. And that's a huge message for some of you. Then I heard that some of you need to go back and finish something that you started in April. It's either April 17 or April 2017. So for those of you who can manage to figure this out, there is something you need to finish or go back and finish that you started in April. And it's apparently it's important because he's saying the word important. Another vision I have, which was really interesting, and I feel a lot of this has to be with a relationship, as in spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. Could be work, yes, obviously family, but I feel like it's in a romantic relationship for a lot of you. I saw like a little bomb went off, and I said to my guy, they're going to freak out. So I'm supposed to say, this is not a real bomb. That is not what I saw. This is the metaphor for dropping something somewhere and, shit starts flying. Okay. So that's what I saw. But what I saw is that you let it happen because you are hoping it would fix things. So I don't know what this is going to mean to you guys. It is obviously pretty specific, but if you want to drop a bomb on somebody, whatever that means to you, because you think it's going to solve something, it's going to solve nothing. That is what I'm being asked. And then I hear, stop pretending or stop lying to yourself. So there is definitely some things here that need to be addressed for some of you. Okay. Numbers, yes, you have the number 3 and the number 9. So you have letting go, yes, you have number of endings, but 3 is all about expansion. Well, it comes to 12, which comes to 3. So I don't care how I look at it, how I slice it or dice it, you are in an energy where you are going to be moving beyond your comfort zone. And that is a good thing because it means you are growing. Now, I asked for, I got 3 cards for animals. You got spirit animals. You have the hyena, and I actually just did a sign, I don't remember which one it was, that got the same card. So this is about hidden resentment, hidden pain. This is about being mindful if you are not using language that is hurtful, derogatory, cynical, down-putting, inappropriate, excessive, in order to mask some pain or some resentment from your past. I hear the word anger, okay? And this is going to be within relationships. So watch for that, okay? And this can transpire in any situation with anybody. But if you have tendency to express your anger or resentment through words that are prickly or nasty or gazillion other names you want to use, look at what drives that behavior for you. Not because we're pointing fingers, it's for recognition. Why? Because when you get to that, this healing process can start and take place. The next message you have is the message of a unicorn. So unicorn is a very interesting creature, because some believe it, some don't. And I think I've explained it that way before. But what he's asking me to focus on here is that the unicorn doesn't look left or right. It just looks straight ahead. In other words, it is sure of itself and it doesn't need anybody's approval. So if you are someone who is constantly striving to please others, or to look for others' approvals, or to look for information outside of you that will validate who you are, chances are you're not someone who is very confident or empowered. So this is about you realizing, again, your true self, your true potential, and your ability to be the superman or superwoman that I was shown, by recognizing the gifts within you and by approving yourself. I almost want to say, it's going to sound really crude, but I want to say the unicorn doesn't give a shit what you think about it. And you know what? If you can adopt that feeling, perfect. And for some of you may say, well, no, that's not nice. And I agree with you. If you do that on a regular basis, absolutely. But I think many of us don't do it often enough, and we get into trouble. And then we have the camel. So the camel is, to me, I used to have dreams about camels, so I looked them up. Camel is a creature that can withstand really, 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 really harsh conditions. It can go without water for miles and miles and days, and without water. So it can withstand harshness. What this is saying here is, not only is it saying that you are like the camel, I'm not calling you a camel, but you are like the animal that has the strength and resilience. But also what it's saying here is, use that gift that it's innately a part of you, your power to see things through, and this will get you through to the next set of circumstances. So for many of you, this is, again, either ending a relationship, ending a friendship, whatever it is, there's some kind of a finality here. But this does suggest that it's hard work, and you've been working hard, and there's going to be some work ahead of you. Now he's asking me to look at the position. Beautiful. So this is the position it was shown to me. Look how the strength or the resilience is looking at this unicorn who believes in himself. So basically what I get here is what I'm supposed to say. When you start believing in yourself, and when you stop asking people for approval, this is how you will naturally feel much stronger and much more resilient. Beautifully said. Now, I said, okay, what is the focus areas here? You've got the soulmates card. So obviously, as the words suggest, a lot of this will be around a soulmate in your life. Now, soulmate isn't just someone we are romantically involved with. Not at all. Soulmate can be a friend. It can be a coworker. Soulmate can be a partner in business. It can be a partner in crime. It can be anybody. It could be your neighbor. This speaks generally of soulmates when it comes to romance. So for a lot of you, what I'm talking about here and how things are being affected and where, for most of you, this is going to be around a relationship. This card also suggests that there will be new people coming into your life. Some of those people will be in a position of authority to you. So this could be a work-related boss. And for some of you, this is going to be a partner, as in romantic partner, which is obvious. You could also be meeting a friend who all of a sudden feels like a brother to you or a sister. So that is being highlighted here. Time to go in reverse is, or in protection, is saying now that although it's time to move on, you are still working on some lessons that you haven't integrated. In other words, there is something you haven't learned yet. And for those of you who resonate with the chain around your ankle, perhaps the reason why you are still there is because you're not integrating the lesson or the purpose behind your situation. And in order not to find yourself in this position again, you have to be able to have recognition. Now, he's asking me to say the word resentment and anger. So for those of you who are still holding on to resentment and anger from somewhere or towards someone in the past or some situation, then you haven't finished the lesson. Because in order to finish the lesson, you have to release yourself. Okay, and I think I talked about it at the beginning. The next message, might want to observe some of the information that will or situations that will transpire in the month of June to see how this may apply to you. And I'm saying, how are they going to do that? And he's saying, always ask yourself a question, particularly when situation is difficult, and ideally in a moment of quiet. If you have a situation you're dealing with and you're struggling, in your quiet moment, ask yourself, if there was something I was learning from this, what could it be? So by using certain words as could, it implies that you may or may not. If you do it in some other way, it's like, what am I learning from it? And an aspect of you that says, I'm not learning anything, I'm just being hard done, is going to reject that. So by using the word could versus what am I learning from it, implying I must learn something or I'm dumb, your mind interprets it differently, and you won't resist the message as much as when it comes in. And I will tell you, you will always get an answer. Whether you get it right away or 3 weeks from when you ask, that's a different question. But you will always have an answer. And I do this with my clients all the time, and they're astonished the amount of information that they're able to gain from themselves by me simply guiding them where to go. The next message you have is to the sea. So if you are looking at some drastic changes right now, this is not the time, okay? In other words, if you are looking to move on from a situation, chances are you haven't learned the lesson yet, so the time isn't the best. But I do see, and I'm being shown, that many of you are in transitions, which that word is pretty much permanent fixture in my vocabulary lately, because we are going all through transitions. So it's either time is not to move on, it's not the right time, or you are resisting to move on. And the word resistance is coming up over and over, and also it comes up in additional cards. So those are your focus points. Now, I said, show me some information. You've got the Empress, which is fantastic, which is, by the way, 3, which are the numbers we were given, is the number 3, and the total of all your cards is 3. So huge, 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 huge confirmation. You have King of Wands, and you also have 9 of Pentacles. There was additional cards that I asked for. 2 came out. One is 6 of Swords in reverse, and then you have the World. So as a story, what I saw right off the bat, first and foremost, many of you will be giving birth to a brand new relationship, Absolutely. Some of you will be giving birth to an idea. Some of you will be giving birth to a physical child. For some of you, you will be given birth to, or very shortly, you will be giving birth to a new way of being, new way of living, new way of looking at yourself. And considering what we talked about, if you guys look into it, I can see how that could drastically change where you're going. So that is shown to me right away. So I'm going to see it as a story first. This relationship, for those of you, whatever this will be for you, is I feel like it's going to allow you a lot of stability. So yes, some of you are birthing a relationship with a King of Wands, absolutely. So this could be a male or female, because it's a general reading, who is very passionate. This is also area around business. So for some of you, you will be giving birth to self-employment, or be giving birth to an opportunity where you step up in a position, or you become the leader of some of sorts. But more than anything, I feel there's a lot of stability with this king or queen. So I feel that this is an opportunity here for you to start something new, to give birth. This is also a sign, and I'm going to see this as you, that through this process, you will get to the point where spiritually you're going to feel very balanced. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel sure of yourself. And that will certainly make you feel much more secure when it comes to finances and relationships. I always say, when we are feeling full within, and when I say full, I don't mean full of SHIT, I mean full of harmony and peace, then everything is attracted to us as a result of that. And I always say, Spirit always tells me to say this, you will always prove yourself correct. In other words, what you believe, you will prove to yourself. So then I said, give me more information. What's the advice? You have the Six of Swords. So the advice isn't don't move on. The advice is there is something preventing you from moving on. What is it? You might want to ask yourself, what is that? If you are the person with the chain around your ankle, and hopefully it's not a real chain, obviously that would be horrible, and God forbid, this is the proverbial chain. You guys know what that means. If that is the case, again, notice, are you the one choosing to stay? Are you the one not willing to make a different choice? And remember, there is some unlearned lesson here. This is lesson learned. We're moving on. This is not quite integrating the lesson. So I feel like in the month of June, there will be an opportunity for you, for many of you, to accomplish that goal should you choose it. Okay? The World card to me signifies you are at an end of a cycle. And that's a beautiful thing. An end of a cycle signifies completion. When we complete a certain set of lessons, I'll put it that way, we're then ready to move on and start something new. This also symbolizes evolution. When you are at an end of a cycle or a completion, it symbolizes that a certain component of your spiritual growth has been accomplished and it's time to move on. So if you are resisting it, again, you might want to ask yourself the question, why am I resisting it and what's preventing me from moving on or moving forward? Generally speaking, from what I know and from what I've been told, it is always, always, always based in some sort of a fear, right? Because if we don't have it, we don't have to worry. And the number 9 is being shown again. So take this as an opportunity, whatever transpires in the month of June, as an opportunity to glean, interesting choice of words, some important pieces of information, glean information, okay, that can make a substantial difference in the way you feel about yourself and consequently how you choose to move forward. And remember, you have the power, Superman or Superwoman. You are here to, you are meant to feel proud, and to feel proud, well, you have to feel proud, right? And I think that's all I have. I hope this was helpful. If this makes no sense to you, listen to it at the end of the month. Otherwise, do comment and see how that pertains to you. I love to read your comments. Of course, for private messages or private sessions, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for sharing, for liking, for subscribing, for writing to me. I love every single thing I read. May not always have time to reply, but thank you so much for everything. I wish you best of luck, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.